Hello, I am Marcus Hirschbein, and I am presenting my development portfolio. Uh, Excuse any background noise or anything like that. Kind of doing this on the fly, winging it as we do. So, just to kind of explain my portfolio I have here and kind of my background a little bit. Um, I started learning computer science in 2011 in UNC at Charlotte. I attended there for a year and a half um, before life changes kind of set me on a different path. But ever since learning the fundamentals of programming in college, with Java, um, I took what I learned and I really enjoyed it and just kind of programmed in my free time. I've worked on many projects since then. As of this video, this is 13 years now that I've been just doing my own stuff, programming, figuring things out by myself, which I think is a unique and worthwhile trait and experience to have in any team member on any team. Having said that, allow me to quickly go ahead and go through my projects I have here for you. So this is my little site that I'm using for my portfolio. It's actually also a store. It's itch.io. It's what a lot of indie developers use to publish games um, in a very kind of free market way. You know, you have a lot of control over how you want to publish your stuff, and there's no real overhead or anything associated with that, except maybe it takes a cut of what you make. But I'm not even too entirely sure about that, as I haven't really been selling anything on here for profit or anything. Really, I wouldn't be releasing any of this stuff right now if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted to use it for my portfolio, present it, and share it with you guys. So I've got 4 notable projects right now that I am publishing: Space Mercators, The Derelict Facility, From Nothing, Rome, and Fawhxl Frames, which also might be referred to as Faw Frames. And Fawhxl Dog, Faw, just internet alias identity that I use. And scrolling down, these are my projects that will appear. Kind of see the descriptions of these different things that different projects of mine. Sci-fi 2D sandbox game, a horror point-and-click puzzle game. Well, the sci-fi one was Space Mercators. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little scrambled. Space Mercators, sci-fi 2D sandbox type game. The Derelict Facility, a horror point-and-click game, which I'm actually making into a series. Dark Noctes, Derelict is actually the new name of that title. And it's going to be a series of horror point-and-click games, because once I make the first game's kind of the fundraiser for the rest of the series, and as I develop basically this little engine template to make more entries in the series with, using it to develop all the mechanics and stuff. All these projects are from scratch, using a platform, Game Maker Studio 2. They have their own proprietary language, GML, which is like a mix of JavaScript and Python. I think it's a powerful little language. I love it. Then I have From Nothing Rome, a narrative-driven real-time macro strategy game. Still early concept. The other games are all like kind of in alpha access, still very much developing new mechanics and features that have yet to be implemented. but the amount of work and progress in each varies. They're all very different titles, if you haven't noticed. You know, I got horror game, sci-fi sandbox, Roman Empire macro strategy game. It's like wildly different genres there, but it's fun for me. I like the challenges that each project kind of brought to the table, being so different. And then I have Fawhxl Frames, a modular GUI toolkit, which I'm sure for UI interests might probably be my most powerful like addition to my portfolio, because I made this whole UI toolkit for other developers to use, and I will show all of these soon. Well, so the games maybe we don't have to go through, but I can maybe make another video and go through them. But I will just go through the UI toolkit because this one runs right in the browser. And that's that one right there. You can see the other projects there. Let me just show the icons here. And then you also see Electro Pets there. That's just a little like Tamagotchi kind of game I made. Just a little fun experiment. I made that real quick. Like, I think I worked on it for a month or two. I was just kind of seeing how fast I could throw something like a little Tamagotchi game up. Let me see. I can go through these real quick. So yeah, here's some like profile or screenshots of the game in game, and here you can see some of the debugging tool. You know, all these different data points. Very nice, very complex, procedurally generated map using a pseudo Perlin noise function, and yeah. It's a very cool game to look at, and it looks great, I think. I have big plans with that little map generator. There are other projects I can use it in as well, especially the sci-fi game. So I want to have where your ships go down to planets, and you can see the planet side and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, everything's developed from scratch. When I start one of these projects, there's nothing. There's no UI built in. There's no anything. It's just a blank canvas. Everything you're seeing there was made and added by me. It's the other picture. Just a little zoom in. That what you're seeing there, the Rome and the red color and the little outline, it simulates growth. So like, you know, it's just simulating like as the city-state of Rome gets bigger, the population spreads out and the territory gets bigger. It's available for download to check out if you are interested. Space Mercators real quick. Again, here's some pictures. Features this whole kind of don't want those messages popping up. Alright, you know what? You're in trouble. I'm going to close you. It's because I'm blocking those payments. There's so many subscriptions, you know? It's crazy. But yeah, Space Mercators is a really cool project. I have this whole like economy system simulation going on with it, and you fly around on a ship. You're just one of many ships. You know, the idea is that you're not some special hero or anything. You're just your own freelance. You're your own guy with a ship, and you try to make money doing stuff like contracts and stuff. And I don't know, sandbox experience. If you wish you lived in the future, struggling to make money instead of struggling to make money today, that's your game. Because you're trying to make it big in this little sci-fi galaxy. This is the horror point and click. Not too much action, as you can tell. The special effects and visual effects in this game are awesome. They're sound effects and visual effects. Of course, these are just screenshots, but kind of get the idea. Again, available for download. Now, Fawhxl frames, the kind of probably meat and potatoes of my capabilities. If the other stuff wasn't enough for you, but this is more, you know, probably practical. You can probably start to see the, you know, that other stuff was kind of game related, but this goes into more practical utility related stuff, which is more applicable to front end development, especially, well, back end too, because I mean, you know, not just doing the front end stuff here. I have this whole, all of this, every single piece and part of this is made by me. This frame, the box, the buttons, the tabs, the sliders, that's what this whole project was about, was making every single one of these parts. This console, you know, again, all me, everything, none of this logic existed. Can pin it so you can't drag it around. Sorry, I'm going through this very fast and hastily. I apologize. Otherwise, it would be a long video. You know, these work, you know, change that to right arrow. You know, buttons, again, all made, designed. Difficulty slider, you know, is UI for a game, presumably, but theoretically you could use this for anything because it's so modular, right? That's the point of it. You know, volume slider, and then video settings. Yep, apply. Oh, this won't actually change the. This won't actually change. You see that moving around there, but that's if it changed the window. It does not do that in the HTML demo. A new game, and the reason I was making it like this was because I was trying to think of an everything template. Like, what do I need in my UI toolkit? It was like, well, you know what? I'll just make every single thing that a game could possibly need in it, right? Like all these different, like, first name, last name, toggle buttons, switches, color pickers, and then these just value pickers, you know, stuff you've probably seen in other games in different styles. You know, in-game stuff or just other different types of UI elements. This is kind of like an everything bagel of a template. And got like a inventory screen here. I wish the page site didn't scroll at the same time, but here you can see, you know, the little scroll bar there on the side popping up when I'm in here, and then you can scroll it up and down. It's scrolling the window as well. It's kind of annoying. I think itch would account for scrolling inside of a HTML element, but or a element like this, but they don't. And pick up an apple, and then here's the Apple inventory. Oh, that causes a crash though, because there's a bug there. But you get the idea. And I also want to go ahead and dive into the code for this. Let's see. So this is what I work in. You know, you can kind of start seeing some of my code. This is part of the horror game one, Dark Nocte's Derelict. I've been working on that because I'm going to publish Dark Nocte's Derelict to Steam very shortly. I already have a spot on Steam, and I have my app ID assigned to me already. Let me just close this project. Open project. I want to show the UI stuff. That's that one. Oh, I need to go to documents. Game Maker Studio 2. Fawhxl frames. That's one. And the cool thing about it, it's all scripts. There's one object just to facilitate the demo, but these are all scripts. I've got it separated into 3 parts with this UI. Create, draws, and actions. And then there's some utilities, but those are the main 3 that relate to, that are the meat and potatoes of it. Do you make a button? Draw the button. Well, create, define what the button is, what its properties are, then drawing it, and then the action, what the buttons do when you click them. So I go ahead and hide all this. These are all the different GUI elements that I have. Button, bind button, color picker, component list, container, drop down, entry button, horizontal space, which is just a space separator, input field, click it, type. It can enter a string of text, numbers, or whatever. Iterator, that's the, one number goes down, other number goes up thing. Label, little UI labels. Multi-field, that's, when you're writing multiple lines, like not just one line of a string or letters or characters, multiple lines, like Notepad, basically. Picker, that's like, you click an arrow and you're cycling through different options. Preview, that was for, ignore that one. Slider, that was for like the audio sliders. Slot grid, that was for like the inventory when you saw the different slots. Toggle, which is the buttons that you can toggle on and off or switch genders, or change genders in the little character create thing example. Vertical bar create, that was the vertical bars that you saw when it was like in the little placeholder game, the health, food, hunger bars, the little different colored bars at the top left. And a vertical space, which is a vertical spacer instead of a horizontal spacer. And then, yeah, so those were all the create scripts. That's where you define those elements, and then each one has a draw, and each one has an action. And that's the meat and potatoes. There's all sorts of other stuff going on in here. Here's a little, 2022 is when I was like really big into this program. I've been focusing on other things, but I do want to go back, and there's some, like that one thing that I said caused a crash. There's a little bug here and there I got to fix, but otherwise it's 95% functional and applicable to development needs. Though it needs documentation. That's a big problem, is that it needs documentation so other developers know how to use it and what's going on. And then this is just for facilitating the demo. This isn't really necessarily a part of stuff, but just to kind of show how my code works. And I'll show you, like, this is to create just kind of constructor passing parameters, mostly, whatever init stuff. Yeah, they all kind of look the same because they all kind of serve the same purpose, just for different things. And then whatever unique needs they specifically need. And then this is actions, where different actions get performed. when certain elements are done. Utilities, these are little miscellaneous function scripts that I needed for whatever purpose. And more just a lot of stuff. Let me see something. Actions, draws. So that's 3,000 line, almost 4,000 lines of code there. Let's see if we get totals up in here. Almost 800. 1,100. 100. I guess you're kind of getting the point. A lot of work going on here. 1,500. All by yours truly, me. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. All from scratch. By myself. Yeah, so I guess that is where I'll leave this video. It's pretty off the cuff. I might remake it later. Feeling cute, might delete later. So I hope you liked what you saw, and please reach out to me for questions. This is kind of the career path that I'm most passionate about and interested in, and I think the career that I am most valuable in. I'm friendly, easy to work with, and a team player. So please reach out to me, and let's get to work. Thank you. Bye.